into the future.
Welcome to a new episode of Virtual SpaceTV 3D. We have lots of news about exciting developments on the space frontier. The Curiosity rover landed on Mars on August 5, 2012, surviving its 7 minutes of terror after entering the atmosphere. In the year since that landing, the rover has made a number of important findings that support the view that conditions on Mars in the distant past could have supported life. The findings include a stream bed with pebble rocks surrounded by flowing water. This means that air pressure and temperatures were moderate enough to allow liquid water on the surface for long periods. The mineralogy of the area indicates that the water was not overly acidic or alkaline and had low salinity. There were key chemicals available to support life, including carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, phosphorus and sulfur. Curiosity is now on its way to the base of Mount Sharp, the 5-kilometer-high mountain with exposed layers that should reveal much more about the history of Mars. The Mars rover is not only a good geologist and chemist but can do some amateur astronomy as well. Recently, Curiosity turned one of its cameras upward and captured a sequence of images of the moon Phobos passing overhead and briefly eclipsing the much smaller moon Deimos. On August 3, the Japanese Space Agency launched the HTV-4 cargo module from the Tanegashima Space Center. 6 days later, the HTV arrived at the International Space Station. As with the SpaceX Dragon cargo module, the HTV was berthed to the station with the aid of the Canadarm robotic manipulator. The vehicle carried 3.6 tons of dry cargo, water, experiments and spare parts. Included were 4 CubeSats that the company NanoRacks will launch from the station. The Japanese vehicle will remain attached to the station for about a month. The 3 companies competing in NASA's Commercial Crew program are making good progress towards completing their milestones. The goal is to have at least 1 and maybe 2 or 3 systems by 2017 capable of taking astronauts regularly to the International Space Station. This past month, Boeing showed the media the latest design of the CST-100 crew module. It has a new interior layout that should allow 7 people to ride comfortably to low Earth orbit. Sierra Nevada will soon drop a full-scale prototype Dream Chaser from a helicopter to test its gliding and landing capabilities. Recent tow tests on the runway at the NASA Dryden Center in California confirm that it can handle the speeds at landing. Meanwhile, the Dragon crew module at SpaceX passed a design review of its orbital and entry systems. Late this year or early next, a Dragon launch pad abort test will be carried out at the Kennedy Space Center. While the shuttle and many movie spaceships have wings, recently wingless vertical takeoff and landing vehicles seem to be flying all over the place. Referred to as V-TOL systems, they offer the advantage of landing and taking off from a small flat pad of concrete, and they substitute the weight of fuel for the weight of wings, which are obviously not very useful in space. NASA has 2 separate V-TOL projects. Project Morpheus at Johnson Space Center in Houston is testing a vehicle similar to a design of Armadillo Aerospace. At NASA Marshall Space Flight Center, they are testing the Mighty Eagle. Both projects aim to gain experience that will help in the design of landers for the Moon, Mars and other space objects. Similarly, NASA JPL and Draper Lab are flying the Zombie V-TOL vehicle designed and built by Maston Space Systems of Mojave, California. The goal is to test autonomous guidance and control software for use on future space exploration landers. Meanwhile, SpaceX continues to fly the Grasshopper first stage reusable booster prototype. This month it flew sideways for the first time rather than just straight up and down. Blue Origin, owned by Amazon.com founder Jeff Bezos, is also working on V-TOL rockets. In 2011 they released videos of vertical launch and landing of one of their vehicles, which was later destroyed in a flight failure. They have been building a new vehicle and will probably be flying it soon. The coming months should bring lots of exciting space news, especially in commercial space flight. In September, Orbital Sciences will launch the Cygnus cargo module on their new Antares rocket for the first time to demonstrate cargo delivery to the ISS. SpaceX will soon launch its first commercial satellite with the Falcon 9 rocket. And Virgin Galactic says they will resume powered flight tests of the Spaceship Two suborbital space tourism vehicle. They expect to reach space by the end of the year or early next year and begin regular commercial flights by mid-2014. We look forward to reporting on these and other exciting space activities in the coming months. Thanks and goodbye till next time.